Welcome to another podcast, True Crimes with Xhris. This is the murder of Blair Adams, who was an unsolved murder from 1996. Now, before I get into the murder of Blair Adams, I would like to shout out Keith Blair, a good friend who requested this. No relation to Blair Adams. He has wonderful fishing gear and hunting gear and mystery boxes. He's on the grow. You can find him at wildwiththeblairs.com. That's on his website, TikTok, and YouTube. Wild with the Blairs at TikTok, Wild with the Blairs, YouTube, and wildwiththeblairs.com. And support him by his tackle box, fishing box, charity box, and all his fishing stuff. Pro at fishing. You can also find his wife, Alana Garrett, at TikTok, and he has a newborn, Raylan. A shout out to the Blairs. Thank you for requesting this. Now I'm gonna run all the facts about Blair Adams, then I'm gonna give my 2 cents at the end, because I don't feel like this murder is unsolved. Like I was talking about with Keith, I feel like just like in the hood, there's no snitching policy. Somebody saw something, somebody do something, they're probably just taking it to the grave. And like in the hood, some people can't move, so they don't have protection. They don't have money to move out. Like if you see a crime that happened in New York, you got money to move to LA, that'd be cool. But some people don't have that. Or if you live in Compton, you see a murder in Compton. Or if you live in Compton, you see a murder that happened in Beverly Hills, then you probably snitch or the anonymous hotline. But sometimes in those situations, to each his own. But some people stay to themselves. It's best to not say nothing, not to look, not to get involved, because some people might spin a block on you and your family if they get out of jail, or they might have somebody else to hit you up. And I feel like this is this situation. So getting into Blair Adams. Blair Adams was born December 28th, 1964. He was killed July 11th, 1996. 7/11, 1996. He was from Canada. He was 31 years old at the time of his death. His official death, was caused by septic shock from a erupted stomach. And his full name was Robert Dennis Blair Adams. He grew up in White Rock, but lived in Surrey, British Columbia, Canada. And he was a single construction foreman, although he was seeing a woman at the time of his death. Now, he was found murdered in a parking lot under construction off the intersection 40 outside of Knoxville, Tennessee. He withdrew cash, gold, jewelry, silver, out of his safe at the time before his death. He tried to enter the U.S., but was turned away after having felonies on drug and assault charges, and thought to be of a drug courier, which is a mule, in the U.S. He got into the U.S. on July 9th in a Nissan Altima. He backed his car into another car, but the driver said that he seemed nice, but he was in a hurry. So there was no road rage, there was no fighting, nobody got it cracking or scrapping. But then after that, he was sighted in East Knoxville County, Tennessee, at the BP gas station on Strawberry Plains Pike at 5:30 p.m. Now, getting to the discovery of his body, Blair was found by construction workers at 7:30 a.m. on July 11th, 1996, at the County Inn Suites Hotel, which was under construction at the time. It is believed that his crime might be sex-related, since he was almost completely nude when found. Only a strand of hair was found in his gripped hand. Now, I did research. The hair was black. He was nude from the waist down. They feel like he might have been violated. I don't know if they did I'm pretty sure they did an autopsy, but I don't know if he was checked, if he was violated, or how he's violated. The area he was in was known for having lot lizards and sex workers, hookers. So I believe either somebody was wearing a wig, it could be wig hair, human hair, some hair out of the side of somebody's hair. Maybe he was getting some dome and he grabbed the hair, or maybe he was fighting. They believe it's from a woman. But again, a lot of construction workers could be on the DL undercover, so we may never know. But they believe it was a sex-related crime. He also was doing drugs and alcohol, but he was 2 years before his death. He was 2 years clean, and he was doing AA meetings. Okay, so his mother said that he was acting odd before leaving Canada and did not want to tell her what was wrong. He actually stopped going to AA meetings weeks prior to his death and told friends that someone was trying to kill him. And told his mom that someone was spreading rumors about him. In 2010, an interviewer with the Knoxville Police Department, they said they never got any credible tips in his death, but a sketch of a man that 2 women witnessed Adam being with before his death was released and seen outside the Cracker Barrel near the Fairfield Inn where he was staying in. He received some media coverage on several TV shows throughout the years and podcasts such as Unsolved Mysteries, which is a huge TV show, and My Favorite Murder, which is a huge podcast. And of course, my podcast now, Xhris with the Next. Share me out. He grew up in White Rock, but lived in Surrey, British Columbia, Canada. Now, those are the facts, those are the bulletin points. Now, my 2 cents is that I feel that since maybe he could have been selling drugs, since he was pulling out a large amount of cash. I mean, construction workers make a good amount of money. They get paid daily. I know some construction workers. I knew of construction workers. They get paid like over hundreds of dollars daily because you have to mix cement, and that's a lot of woodwork and all that. I believe he was running from somebody or something, and he couldn't tell who it was because maybe they would kill his friends and family. There's another true crime that I'm going to get on. I can't remember the guy's name, but it's a similar story where same thing. He was in a hotel and he got beat up, and the police actually had came, and he was still like responsive. The police was asking him all types of questions. He was tied up to the bed. He was naked, and whoever the man beat him up, like he wouldn't give names. He wouldn't tell nobody. He wouldn't tell the cops, even though he's bloody and bruised. And the cops had no choice but to just leave. And then the man ended up dead. And his mom didn't find out till like a couple of years later. His how do you call it? His John Doe photo was listed in the newspaper, and her best friend had saw it and went down and told the mom, and that's how she identified him. So it's I'm gonna do a true crime on that. I can't remember the guy's name at the moment, but stay tuned for that. But I feel like this is the same thing with Blair Adams. I feel like whatever he was doing or whoever he was with, he didn't want to tell, and somebody saw something, somebody knew something, and they ain't saying nothing. And even though it's years, that was 1996, over almost 28 years ago, 29 years ago, almost heading up to 30 years. years, somebody could speak out, give some closure. You know, I saw pictures of the crime scene. They had his body covered. He switched cars. The Camry that he was driving, he did take it to he switched cars and got a Toyota, but somehow he got locked out of the Toyota and he had to get a key sniff. But then the guy was telling him, well, you drove it all the way here, so certainly you have another key. And he didn't have another key, so he left that car there. And I guess he went to go, eventually got a key or got another car. And that's where he was found the next day under that construction site dead. Maybe they had an undercover hooker to go like do some stuff with him, and then she killed him. His stomach was ruptured, so maybe some septic shock, maybe somebody, I don't know, stuck something up in him. Like the 15-year-old boy that had a water hose, that had an air water hose stuck up his rectum, and it blew out his insides, and it ruptured his insides. Maybe that could have happened. Did the Knoxville police actually test the hairs? Like, was it human hair? Was it wig hair? Now, the strange thing about Blair is that he was seen outside that same hotel, not the one that was that he was found dead, but the other one that he was staying at. He was loitering outside the Fairfield Inn. He was loitering outside. Then he had got U.S. currency, and those people that don't know loitering, that's outside, either begging for money or just standing outside kicking it for no reason. But he was getting money, and then he went inside, paid for his room, but the clerk, and they got it on camera, the clerk tried to hand him back his change, and then he just left the lobby. And then they said he visited the hotel 5 times, but never even stayed in the room that he purchased. So somebody definitely was after him. Something he got himself into. He was found in a pool of blood. He was found naked from the waist down, but he had his shirt on. His shirt was ripped. His jeans and socks were turned inside out. His jeans, shoes, and socks was found near his body, and one of his shoes was propped under his head like a pillow. Also, some of his hair was ripped out of his head. So did somebody place a hit on him? Because all of his belongings was found near his body. And his money was still on him. So was this a hit? It could have sounded like it was a hit somebody placed on him. So whoever did something to him, he definitely got into a fight but lost it. And he definitely was probably sexually assaulted. Again, I feel like this crime is solved, but ain't nobody saying nothing. There's like a lot of hoods, nobody saying nothing. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comment section below. If this is a podcast, if there's no comment section, what do you think? Like, comment, share, and subscribe. Also, share me out, show some love. Also, I have a bunch of links in the bio where you can follow me. Also, my birthday is on December the 5th, so if you want to cash at me, my cash app is GetXMoney09, or you can put the $ GetXMoney09. Also, I have a registry for Etsy. It'll be a link in the bio, Etsy.com, Christopher Jones. It have t-shirts or plants, since I like to garden. You can show me some love by purchasing it. You don't have to, but purchasing one of the plants. I will shout you out. I will take pictures and show it. Until then, this has been your boy Christopher X on True Crimes, the murder of Blair Adams. Stay tuned for the next. Thank you.